Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and welcome back to what has been a very interesting week of Call of Duty action, especially behind the scenes. Today we're going to talk about the New York subliners and how Asim is having tough times getting to the States, and what that potentially means for this squad going into the Stage 4 Major in just a couple of weeks' time. And treat your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you were new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. Also thank you for 62,000 subscribers. Hit that milestone just a couple of days ago. Absolutely wonderful stuff. Well on our way at this point. First of all, wanted to look at this in a little bit greater detail. Yesterday I looked at this, but Round 11 Stats hadn't yet tweeted out what it actually was in terms of who the players were. So we looked at this yesterday and it was pretty evident that this man over here was aBeZy. This is how it looks on the big screen with everyone involved, and it's kind of remarkable, right? So aBeZy over here, just above a 50% first blood win percentage, but then at the top of things, these are your players that win like all of their first blood engagement, right? Like Awakening and Assault, up here near 70% of their first bloods, they win. It seems surprisingly low, to be honest, but yeah, kind of interesting how players cluster. Thought Scump was, you know, the players around here, but Scump, especially for using an SMG, is in a pretty impressive spot. Hit Huke up here as well, so interesting to see how the players will play out along these lines, and which players are getting more first bloods. It's kind of funny, I think, really, to see aBeZy all the way over here, and then you get Simp, Arcitys, and I imagine Cellium is in a relatively similar boat to these players as well, because, I mean, okay, Cellium all the way over here on the left-hand side, right, because you're not getting into too many first blood engagements when aBeZy is absolutely rocking it if you are Atlanta FaZe at the moment. Thought I mentioned this as well yesterday. I'm not sure how many of you guys tuned into this, but there was a PlayStation 4 Sony Open Series finals going on yesterday, and myself and Ton were casting it. It was honestly a great time, so thanks to Sony for putting this one on. And maybe given I've got some more time free having finished university, might hop into some more casting things from time to time if the opportunity allows itself. And those of you who tuned in, hopefully you had a good time. If you played in this tournament, hopefully you did pretty damn well, because the winners of it won a solid prize at the end of the day. This came out from Crone yesterday then. Really interesting. What is going on with Paris Legion right now? It strikes me that they're the type of team that I don't want to spend any money, right? As an organisation, they're pretty much all their players are on minimum salaries, to our knowledge, and okay, they're just in the Pro League for the sake of it. They don't really want to spend anything unnecessarily, and you know, they've made some changes, right? They brought Temp into the team, now they've brought Zaptius into the team. At the end of the day, they're not making any money moves. And pretty much this entire season, there's been discussion as to what roles they've been using. Whenever things go downhill, they just change around the roles and hope it's going to fix up their squad. They did it so many times when Fire was in the team to not really too much great success, even though if anything, that was when they looked best as a team. And now, of course, they've got this team with Temp now on the squad. Classic is, well, gone off the team. Zaptius is now in. Aqua is still there. Scraps is still there, of course. And it's a team that we've talked about these last several weeks has really got quite a lot of AR players on their team. Relatively slow. Zaptius and Classic, you could argue, find themselves when they were on the team very much out on their own. And I mean, you know, playing for kills quite a lot. We saw them playing on a Moscow hardpoint, for example, with 3 Krigs. That maybe is not going to work. So some discussion here, the fact that Aqua, who pretty much has been a main AR his entire career, I remember maybe in World War II, he used to pull out an SMG for time to time when things were kind of going south for whatever teams he was on. So I think there's been times that he's done it, but I mean, I can't imagine it's going to work to great success because, well, as Crone points out right here in scrims, and well, in 8, sorry, and this is some of the pros are discussing this, the fact that all the players that are playing in this, the fact that, I mean, it seems like Paris are just making some role changes whenever they feel like things are going downhill, and Aqua to an SMG, I mean, I guess tempered scraps on the full-time ARs, I just can't see that being a recipe for success for this squad. Of course, next week they play in their, well, at least first match of the week, or well, one of their matches, they play OpTic Chicago, so not going to be easy for them by any means. As Scraps is a few days ago when you get told you're running the Craig, so I thought this was going to be Temp moving back to an SMG. In fact, it might be Aqua to the SMG, and well, regardless of how this works out, I just can't really see it helping this team in a great effect. I mean, we can see right here, Paris Legion having a tough time just a couple of days ago against Atlanta FaZe. They looked good in this map, to be honest, but again, couldn't quite close it at the end. Simp pops a 3-piece. Sometimes that's just how it goes when you play Atlanta FaZe, and let me make sure that's a little bit more reasonable for on screen right now. Paris Legion down at 60 points, the lowest number of map wins in the entire CDL. It seems like regardless of what they do, they might just be playing for pride and playing for prize money for the rest of the season, given the gap here to the Mutineers in the 8th spot. Only 8 teams, of course, making it to the World Championship. This then it comes out also last night. Very interesting stuff. According to Clayster, Asim was denied entry to the US today because he did not have his visa. They said, luckily this happened now and not before the major. Fingers crossed it will get sorted before then. So I'll play the clip on screen for you guys here in just a couple of seconds. But again, this is not what you want to hear if you are a New York Subliners fan. Asim's been playing pretty sure from Canada this entire season long. It's now time for him to get into the US so they can go to the LAN in Texas in just a couple of weekends time. And it seems like he's having serious issues making that happen.
With the whole squad, bro, be lit.
Yeah, did you
I don't know, talk about it on stream, but you just heard what happened to Sim today?
No, what happened? To who?
Sim.
No, what happened?
He got denied at customs.
Wait, what?
Trying to get into the States.
They denied him?
Yeah, because he doesn't have his visa.
What the fuck happened to his visa?
And you go text him, bro, and ask him.
No.
So I suppose it is a very good thing that he's tried to come to the US a little bit early, right? You can imagine if he's tried to come to the US and for whatever reason didn't have his visa. Now, obviously, we're not really sure what the reasons are for that because Clayster doesn't exactly, disclose that information. But yeah, really interesting to hear this. And I suppose good, as I say, the fact that he was trying to come to the US a little bit earlier than he could have done. If he'd have left it to the last minute here, then he would 100% have been chalked. Now, they've got a couple of weeks to figure this out, whatever that means. But they could well need a new fourth for this major. Asim says the following. I ran into 100 different problems today and still counting. I keep saying it can't get worse, but it truly can. So Asim not exactly in the most confident mood right now that he can figure this out. And the LAN begins on, I'm pretty sure, the 17th of June. So still plenty of time for them to figure things out. But if it doesn't happen, who exactly do you get instead of Asim if you were going to go down this route? Crone says a couple of things right here because, as he says, Diamond Con could be a substitute option, right? He is sitting on their bench. The problem is for them, right, is Diamond Con's also based in Canada, right? He's also Canadian. Asim's also Canadian, playing from there the entire season long. And well, as Crone says right here, Asim's been playing from Canada the whole season. Diamond Con is also in Canada anyway. So they don't really have an easy target to come into this team if they were to make some sort of last minute roster change. This comes out from Crone several months ago at this point, but this kind of explains it before the season begins. Of course, many roster changes since then. But subliners at the time had some players in Texas, the core of the squad, and then Asim living in Toronto. Now, of course, situations are changing. Going back to LAN environments, Asim has got to get to the States, to get to Texas to actually play with the team on LAN on June the 17th, where hopefully, well, at least for the subliners, they're going to have a great seed and a great opportunity to do something right. We saw the very last major, they made the grand finals. They lost to FaZe, of course, in that crazy series. We saw Clayster talking yesterday, the fact that he's, well, still relatively frustrated about the format of that tournament. And I mean, yeah, here they are again, potentially looking to make another great run at a major, and they may not have one of their really important pieces, right, if this is the case. They may get it figured out, but let's not beat around the bush. Asim has been such an important factor for their team so far this season. Mac has obviously been great and certainly done his thing. Clayster is clearly the most important talisman figure on their team, but Asim, we've gassed him up a lot here on the channel, and a lot of people have been talking, great positive things about Asim in terms of what he can bring to this team and also what he brings in terms of the slang, right? It's not just the vibes, the chemistry, and the energy he brings to this squad, but also he's a very, very talented player indeed, and as early in the season especially was one of the greatest SMG slayers that we had. And now with Hydra on the team, it's almost like he doesn't have to do too much. So obviously a very scary team for any opposition to face at the present time, but well, significant questions as to who could potentially replace him. You look at their academy squad, or their former academy squad, not exactly sure what's going on there, but of course there has been some questions as to the New York Subliners academy team, the fact that well, it was a thing for pretty much the entire season, then it fell apart, and a guy like Saint Nato, for example, could be well positioned to step into his place if it has to happen. Kind of funny in a way, right, because Saint is a guy who, I mean, we can have a look at it right here, but a Dallas Empire tweet out June 17th through the 20th, that is when LAN is back for Major 4. No fans, of course, but still all the players in the arena. Certainly going to be very exciting to see how this one progresses and how the seedings work for these next couple of weeks to make sure, well, these teams get the best possible seeding they can going to a LAN environment. This is, of course, Saints does one of these funny tweets that he tweets out something like this pretty much every day at this point. But yeah, he's been a player that in the past, for whatever reason, we were never really sure in the pros, and if you guys are relatively new to the scene, you may not be aware of this, but Saints always, when there'd be a European event, a couple of months into the season, there'd always be some European events over in the UK, over in ESWC, for example, in France, and Saints would never be able to go for whatever reason. They'd always have to get a substitute. So it might be kind of funny how now that this situation's worked out that Saints actually might end up getting substituted in to a starting team like the Subliners if Asim can't make it out there. Hopefully he certainly can make it out there. They've got a little bit of time to figure things out, but again, not exactly ideal for the Subliners at the present time. Definitely intrigued to hear your perspective in the comment section below. Who would you go for if you had to make a change? Do you reckon this is going to get sorted out in time? Can the CDL help in some way or another? Questions do remain to be seen, but yeah, certainly hope we can get that Subliners team in full effect. I'm sure it'll happen in due course, but I guess for these next couple of weeks he's still going to be playing from Canada, but to me, maybe some things going on behind the scenes as they try and figure this one out. This also, just to finish off the video, from JP Krez, analyst, of course, over at the New York Subliners, the amount of cool things that could be done with a public API. So an API, an application programming interface, is one of those things that, for example, Counter-Strike, right? If you look on HLTV, Duty, they have all the stats there because they can pull it directly from the API that the game provides right now. Call of Duty, maybe they have that, and I think the teams have that to some degree. They have some sort of API, but it's not exactly spectacular, and that the teams do have access to it, I'm pretty sure, to some degree, but I mean, it's not exactly great. I think there's some delays that go on from time to time, but I mean, as JB Krez says, a public API would be so cool. The amount of cool data manipulation stuff we could do with it, and you know, the opportunities that would be available. I'm not sure if Activision and the CDL just don't want to release that, or they don't, you know, they don't want to go down that route for whatever reason, but I think it'd be pretty cool to see them go down this road, because as JB Krez says, so jealous of the creativity it lends to communities of other major esports in the statistical analysis that could happen maybe down the line, but it, well, remains to be seen right now. But intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm. If you enjoyed this content, other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and have grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Wait, ILLey, are you actually a sub now for your team? Say,
Yeah.
Fucking with you. No way.
Bro, Standy, I was getting the most time with an AR, bro. What am I
Running
doing?
it.
Oh my lord. What are they thinking over there?
I almost had double 60s.
Well, you think
Yo,
I
this
can't
has
run
actually
it?
been the
No,
hardest
I think
ace
they're
to
just
start with
bored. You guys
everybody
are
here.
fine.
Alright, you guys ready?
He said I think they're just bored.
Everyone's here.
Paris just gets bored and switches roles, bro, every day. I swear to God.
Imagine Champs comes around, McGee subbed in.
One's arch, jump it down, dead.
I'm going top left.
Dude, he hit L. He hit L. He hit L. One top green, one in L. Top green, and L.
I got one back out.
Top green.
Still in L, he's still in
Candy
L.
was green. P4
I'm
side.
looking for green. I'll just.
I'm looking
Okay, I'll just child.
Tell me, Ben, come on, please, please, please.
Phoenix is still
He's
in L.
out weak. He's in vent,
Come back to flat.
Top card dead.
That was Cammy green. I'm going to A. That's three.
Last second, come in. Watch out, watch out, watch out.
Last kid behind you. Last kid behind you. I gave him up. I'm just going to A, bro.
He went mid, Emo dead.
Nice.
On back mid tank.
2, it's 3. I'm coming across green.
Oh, he's on the alley.
You
You need to speak to me there, brother. Talk.
Coming out from point. I don't know where he
Going
is.
on.
Point's
Wait,
away.
coming.
He's in-
Holy patch and I fixed the checkmate floors.
He's in your alley, one shot. He's still there, he's still there.
Let's go.
Sound muted.
It's Cammy, it's Cammy. He's in your
One more alley, one more alley.
Did he not hear us?
No call outs, bro. Strictly beams. Let's go. He's got 40. He's got 40 real ones.
We got 40
That's what you do by yourself in the face. That's what you do. That's what you do, Bubba. Show the teams ASAP. Oh my god.
Bro, Sid.
Oh my god.